Hello, Candace.
Not you again.
Me again. Remember our last oil change? Your boyfriend said he knew a guy who knew a guy. None of those guys knew what they were doing, including you, Todd.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch our experts change your oil right from your car.
Thanks for coming in.
And finish in about 15 minutes. Valvoline. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
I'm Mallory Hartley. That's Greg Powers, and it's This Week
in Cruton.
It's This Week in Recruiting, presented by our good friends at Chicken Express. Powers, the time change happened on Saturday night, I guess going into Sunday, and now it's getting dark earlier, which means, to me, you can eat dinner earlier. And when you eat dinner earlier, you can go to Chicken Express earlier.
Well, you can go to Chicken Express anytime, but I agree with you. There's like a Chicken Express feeling in the air. I would say there's no better time for a hot, warm chicken tendy and a roll than the fall time. And then whenever the time changes, it really feels like fall. So I get what you're stepping in here. You feel like you're wanting to have some Chicken Express. Yeah,
and it's like the spicy serendipity salt that you put on your chicken. You can put it in your gravy. You can put it on pretty much anything that you get.
You've seen me in the office putting serendipity salt on everything.
You could put it on non-Chicken Express items. It is so good. But to me, that's like, you think about the holidays with the spices and all that stuff. So that's kind of my favorite. I would say Chicken Express is probably my favorite holiday fast food restaurant.
I'd agree with that. I'm a big rolls guy.
Yeah.
So they have the best rolls. To me, the number one rated roll in the industry, Chicken Express.
See, I'm more of a biscuit person. When I go to Chicken Express, I always get a biscuit. And y'all always say something about it, and I'm like, I can't not get a biscuit. I grew up on them.
I like their biscuits, but I'm putting the rolls in. The rolls are the 5-star prospect for me.
Agreed.
In this. They're my number one. They're my number one draft pick.
I agree.
I don't know. The chicken tendies are pretty good. Half spicy, half regular.
I always do that too. It's all good. It's all good. Well, you can't ever go wrong with Chicken Express, and we always thank them for being the sponsor of our favorite segment, This Week in Recruiting. Shall we get right into it? We got some strong prospects to talk about today, all of which are a part of teams that are in the hunt for a state championship potentially this year. Let's go ahead and get started with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise this week, it's San Antonio Johnson, 2029.
Yep, you heard that right.
Wide receiver, you heard it right, Braelyn Allen. The 5'11", 175-pounder is making huge waves as a freshman, racking up 811 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns to go with offers from SMU, Texas Tech, and UTSA. Braelyn's played in all 9 games for a Johnson team that's 9-0 this season and will claim another district title in back-to-back seasons to make school history. Now, when you take a look at a freshman, right, obviously you're kind of looking at that raw talent, and you're looking at the ceiling that they're going to potentially reach. When you watch his tape, what is that it factor that you see in Braelyn Allen?
Well, Braelyn Allen's a dog. I mean, he's already putting up huge numbers as a freshman, but the thing that jumps out to me most about his tape is that he is a diverse wide receiver already. He's wise beyond his years at the position. He runs every route in the route tree. You see him running timing routes. You see him beating defensive backs deep, picking up crucial first downs. He's the go-to option in this offense already. He's already made his mark at a very high level. I'm surprised that he doesn't have more offers than what he's already talking about, but this is the type of guy, because of his production and the type of season that he's had, I feel like every college in the country is eventually going to be coming after him once they get a chance to watch him in person. Of course, tip of the cap to SMU, Texas Tech, and UTSA for being those first schools to come after him and make him a priority target. But this is only the tip of the iceberg for Braelyn Allen. He's a GoDaddy.
Well, and it says a lot about the potential that the coaches see in Braelyn Allen so early. They're getting him the rock a lot this year. And that says a lot because if you take a look at the rest of their team, you got another guy in Bryson Thompson, who's been one of their breakout receivers too. He's a junior, of course, but like it says a lot about what they see in Braelyn Allen to be able to get him the ball a lot as a freshman.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And just imagine being the head coach at San Antonio Johnson for a minute and having these guys coming back next year to evolve the offense once again as they look for what would be another record-breaking district championship in 2026. Who knows what the future holds, right? But good starts there at San Antonio Johnson with a great young wide receiver core, and Braelyn Allen is a prospect that I'm very excited to see develop there over the next 3+ years because they still got some games left to play in this season, and we'll see how far these guys can take them in the playoffs.
Yeah, like I said, 9-0 on the season. They're ranked number 21 in Class 6A as of right now. And I want to go back just real fast before we move on and touch on how young of a team this really is. I mean, their starting quarterback, Elvis Estrada, he's only a junior. Class of 2027. Macomb McCreary, we've talked about him. He committed to Oklahoma a couple of weeks ago. He's only a junior as well. This is a very young squad. So if it's not this year, they still got a chance next year that they could potentially make a deep run.
Well, they're turning that school into an absolute power in the San Antonio
factory
area,
yeah.
Right? I think that they've ascended up, and there are some new schools out there that are starting to continuously make waves. You know, Cibolo Steele's been on the map for a long time. But you used to talk about Converse Judson a little bit more. You used to talk about San Antonio Madison a little bit more. Well, now it's San Antonio Piper, San Antonio Johnson, and some of these programs that are on the rise that are starting to develop and crank out top-tier prospects year over year.
He's our prospect on the rise. It's San Antonio Johnson, 2029 wide receiver, Braelyn Allen. Let's move on to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week is Waco La Vega, 2026 wide receiver Jabarie Thornton. And I'm smiling real big right now. The 5'11", 175-pounder committed to North Texas. The Mean Green giving Eric Morris and company their highest rated in-state commit in the 2026 cycle. How about that? Thornton is rated as the number 99 prospect in the DCTX Rising 100. When I saw this news on Sunday night, I believe it was, I was scrolling through Twitter. I about threw my phone in the air. I was so pumped about this commitment.
Well, I'm doing some homework. I should have done this homework right before the show, but I'm going to do it in the middle of the show because I really can't think of a prospect off the top of my head that, I mean, I think this is the highest rated. He's the highest rated North Texas commitment since the class of 2021 in Greenville's Caleb Johnson. So, I mean, this is a dude. And he's North Texas's only commitment in the 2026 version of the Rising Hot 100. And we got a chance to look at him up close in person at the state 7-on-7 in the state championship game 1 year ago. So you're talking about a guy who has pedigree, not only talent, but you can see him. He quickly passes the eyeball test. Maybe you couldn't see him right there, but you can see him right here. Quickly passes the eyeball test and is a guy who can absolutely embarrass defensive backs. But what I really like about Thornton's game is that he's such a great athlete. He's a guy who could easily flip over and be a star corner at the next level as well. As a matter of fact, I would probably debate myself on which I've rated him at wide receiver, so I've made my choice, right? But he could very easily be rated as a defensive back as well.
He was formerly committed to Oklahoma State all the way up until, of course, Mike Gundy, former Oklahoma State head coach, was let go back in September, decommitted from Oklahoma State, and then kind of took a couple months to see where the tides were leaning. And then, of course, North Texas gets a massive win over formerly undefeated Navy this past weekend, and then he commits the day after that. And you actually got to catch up with him at the 7-on-7 tournament. And what really stood out to me is not only is he a really great athlete, but off the field, he was so well-spoken, and you can just tell that he knows the game of football. His football IQ is very high.
Well, speaking with those who are close to Thornton, they feel like he has as high of an upside as any wide receiver in this class because of his work ethic and the way that he approaches the game. He's one of these guys who puts in the extra work all the time to continue to perfect his craft and be the best. And I'll say this. One of my sources said that they feel like when the dust settles on this class, and they have some pretty talented guys that they know about that he could be a chance to be the best wide receiver in the cycle.
Ooh,
and
that makes my Mean Green heart happy.
This is an interesting time too in college football and recruiting because the December signing period is approaching. We're 31, 32 days away from that first signing period. But right now the coaching shuffle is going on as well. And there are a lot of coaches who are getting looked at for different jobs. There are coaches that are thinking about probably at least behind the scenes moving here and moving there. And Jabarie Thornton is a P4 type of dude and a guy that could play in any program. So it'll be interesting to see, can UNT, one, keep Eric Morris?
Right.
And
that's
two,
the biggest question right now, I think.
If they don't, can they keep Jabarie Thornton? Because he's a P4 level talent, right? And that's just opens up some questions about the class, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's a weird time right now in college
football.
For sure.
And
things are just
There's
changing.
A lot of big open jobs.
But what they say, 25% of the SEC jobs are open right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just, I don't know if we've ever seen something like this before. And I don't know. It's a wild time right now. And I can only imagine the stress that puts on these prospects. You know, like if you're committing right now, who knows what's going to happen in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And just even let's just look at one of the schools that's open in the SEC. Arkansas lost 14 commitments since their coaching change happened. That means they have 14 spots at the SEC level that they're going to be out hunting for whoever they hire. Also, that means they've got wide open pocketbooks right now. Those 14 guys, NIL money is now re-available. And when you're getting a new coach, sometimes even more backing comes into play because they want the coach to hit the ground running, right? So there are schools out there like that not only have opportunity, but they also have financial opportunity available.
He's our commit of the week. It's Waco La Vega 2026 wide receiver Jabarie Thornton as he commits to Eric Morris and the North Texas Mean Green. Let's round it out here with our Underclassman of the week. Our Underclassman of the week is Palestine Westwood 2027 quarterback Kavian Bryant, the 6'2", 180-pounder committed to none other than Texas Tech over offers from Texas, SMU, Colorado, and Florida State. A dynamic dual-threat quarterback who can hurt you with his arm just as much with his legs. And on Saturday, when he made this commitment, you and Carter were actually together, and you had to pull over on the side of the road, which always seems like that happens. It happened with Zayden Crimpen. You guys were together. You pulled over on the side of the road, and you got to do it again. So you and Carter actually got to talk about Kavian Bryant and what he brings to the table and what this means for Texas Tech.
Carter Yates, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, here with Director of Recruiting Greg Powers, breaking down the commitment of Dave Campbell's five-star watchlist quarterback Kavian Bryant to Texas Tech. Powers, this is a big one. I mean, what does this mean, first off, for Texas Tech getting this type of commitment?
Well, before I address that, I'm going to have to say you're my breaking news guy. It just seems like everywhere we go, there's some breaking news. We're pulling over to the side of the road to talk about it. But Kavian Bryant is an electric get for Texas Tech because he had every school in the country chasing him. He's a dynamic dual threat guy who can not only beat you with his arm, he can absolutely destroy you with his legs. And he picked Texas Tech over the Texas Longhorns in an in-state battle. There were some other schools involved. But this is a significant pickup for the Red Raiders because it just continues to prove that they can come for the most elite talent in the state. And we saw it with Felix Ojo in the class of 2026, five-star offensive tackle who picked Texas Tech. And you can continue to see that the momentum is still rolling in Lubbock as Kavian Bryant has announced his commitment to the Red Raiders.
I mean, how was Texas Tech able to win out over these other schools? Like, you mentioned all the big names there, but it's the Red Raiders that are shining. How did that happen?
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and give a memo to the rest of college football right now. If you're watching this video, go get you a Joey McGuire to lead your program or a guy like Joey McGuire, and there's plenty of them available right now in the coaching tree. Jeff Traylor at UTSA, G.J. Kinney at Texas State, Eric Morris at North Texas. They lean into their Texas high school football relationships, and it began there in Lubbock and has grown. They continued to pick up wins. They continued to pick up momentum. They continue to pick up support not only from the fan base, but from the donors, and that's been very important. And you would never have had it if you didn't make that hire.
How do you see Kavian Bryant fitting into this Texas Tech Red Raiders offense with offensive coordinator Mac Leftwich?
Well, I love his dynamic ability to be a guy who can absolutely run. So I see some packages coming for him very early in his college career. You got to find a way to get this guy the rock because he can make something happen. But watching him play at Palestine Westwood in person, the one thing that jumps out to me is his control of the offense. He's never rattled. He always plays smooth. He actually plays with a little bit of chip on his shoulder. But bonus for Texas Tech, they're probably also getting a basketball stud on their basketball team too, because he's a two-sport guy and he has dreams and aspirations. As a matter of fact, they've recruited him in both sports. So he's going to be playing on the hardwood as well.
Can you just tell the people how good of a hardwood basketball player he is as well as a football player?
Well, he had offers from all these schools to play both. Texas and Texas A&M both offered him in basketball as well as football. So this is a guy who absolutely brings it. He's a stud basketball player. He's not just a good basketball player. He's one of the best in the country. So he's going to be bringing that to the gridiron, and that's what I cover at Dave Campbell's is football. So that's what we're talking about most. But if you're a Red Raider fan in Lubbock, you have to be excited about the potential of him also being a standout on the basketball court, because he's a guy that could be playing in the Final Four one day too.
Well, Kavian Bryant bringing his talents to Lubbock, both on the gridiron and the hardwood. Huge get for the Red Raiders, and having you covered for it all is Dave Campbell's Director of Recruiting, Greg Powers, and I'm Carter Yates signing off.
Big commitment for the Texas Tech Red Raiders as they're able to pull in 2027 quarterback Kavian Bryant. It's really important for a program nowadays to reel in their quarterback early so they can build around that quarterback, and that's exactly what Texas Tech is doing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And getting a guy like Kavian Bryant, too, who is known as one of the top quarterbacks in the country, rated very highly on all the services. They beat out some top teams for him, right? Saw him have a nice selection of hats on the table with Florida State, Colorado, SMU, and Texas. I think this is the cornerstone of the 2027 class for Texas Tech, especially because LaDainian Guyton reclassified to 2026. They already had the number one player in the country committed to Tech, and he reclassified, so they're getting a bonus and getting Guyton a year early. Well, now they can build the offense, the future of the offense around Kavian Bryant's commitment that they're going to have one of the highest-rated quarterbacks be that cornerstone. Huge get. And, hey, if you're watching this, you like Kavian Bryant, you like Palestine Westwood, you should know about Caden Bryant, his younger brother as well. He already owns a Texas Tech offer, and he's one of the top prospects in the class of 2029, an athlete who is going to be a Mr. Do-It-All and next in line out there for Coach Bishop at Westwood to lead that program into the future.
Yeah, if I'm Texas Tech, I'm like, another Bryant?
There you go.
I am taking that.
Well, yeah, that's great. And the East Texas ties are great because I don't want to overlook the importance of the Savorian Martin recruitment, possibly in the Kavian Bryant recruiting battle as well. These are two guys who are very close, both from Palestine, and Texas Tech has done a good job of making inroads into what has been a traditional powerhouse area that's produced a ton of players. I mean, everybody's going to think of Adrian Peterson, right? Whenever you're talking. But, I mean, Texas. This is like the next wave. This is a new wave out there in Palestine. A lot of guys have been coming from that area in the last couple of years. Absolutely. He's our underclassman of the week. It's Palestine Westwood 2027 dynamic dual-threat quarterback Kavian Bryant as he commits to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. All right, Powers, before we get out of here, would you like to let everybody know where we're going to be on Friday night for our DCTX Rising Game of the Week? Yeah, the Rising Game of the Week is moving to Friday this week. Texas football tonight, moving to Saturday for the playoff bracket reveal show. So big moves happening. We are going to be in the Syntex to watch Cedar Park take on Georgetown. And with a little breaking news before the show or here recently, running back Jet Walker for Georgetown, who recently flipped his commitment from West Virginia to Minnesota. What a get for the Golden Gophers in the Big Ten. I love Jet Walker, but Cedar Park's going to match him up with Trey Hill, so it's going to be a very exciting game to see, and I'm excited to be down at Georgetown to check out the action with you and the crew. It'll be so much fun. Of course, you can catch that live on TexanLive.com or for free on our YouTube page. And don't forget, like you said, don't forget to tune in this Saturday for our playoff bracket reveal show starting at 10:30 p.m. on Saturday night, where we reveal all of the Texas high school football 2025 playoff brackets
from 6A all the way down to 1A Division II. Don't miss it. Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. on all of our social channels. I think that is going to do it for us. For Sam Moore, our producer, Greg Powers, I'm Mallory Hartley. We will see you next Tuesday at noon for This Week in Recruiting.